Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the U.S. Task Force, whatever you want to call it. A collaboration between August Love Story, Jack Glenn, as of this week, talking about Married at First Sight. As you see, the boys are back in town. Just leaving, man. Tommy in the house tonight. We got to give you, from a male perspective, our thoughts
Right,
on this
right.
episode of Married at First Sight. Tommy, what's going on with you, brother?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Just enjoying life, talking married at first sight, man. And I guess, hey, I'm glad it's just us. It's the men. We can talk
Right.
from a man's perspective. We don't see when you see August love story, you see Jack Glenn, you see the counterparts
Yeah,
beside us, right? You always got the women perspective, but tonight we can give a male perspective on married at first sight from what we see,
for sure.
what's going on, man, and how things are going. But we're doing very well. We'll be doing this each and every week. We're gonna have different collaboration part of the panel. Chloe Johnson may be joining us and some other people as well. So stay tuned and continue to look out for what's going to happen with this panel coming on this season with August Love Story, Jack Glenn, and others. Man, let's get started to what everybody wants to talk about, man. And I
Let's
want to get
do
started this way. Married at First Sight. What we saw with Lindsay, right? We're going to get to Alyssa a little bit later. We hold Alyssa off till the end because that's gonna be a lot. But from the male perspective, we see a Lindsay. For those who don't know, who are just joining in, don't know what happened. Lindsay made some comments to my man Elijah while he was on the plane and as he got off the plane and while they was on the plane and as they was getting ready to get into the van for their honeymoon. Lindsay made the comment, and she made the comment to Elijah asking about speaking Spanish. Why you in his native land or you in Puerto Rico, you need to speak Spanish. I'm sorry, I never heard that before. I mean, Puerto Rico is a part of the United States, so I do believe they speak English as well. Elijah once said he wasn't fully comfortable with speaking Spanish. He knows a little bit, but he wasn't fluent.
right. My
It,
my question about that is like, why Elijah one? I guess four other people. Why not your husband? It's so many other people on this trip. Why was he pointed out specifically?
you know,
Lin-
I think she was just picking on because we watched Mark on the episode of Ready to excuse me, Married at First Sight after party. Mark
yeah,
said that she had been picking on Elijah one for a while. Even Elijah one said that she was picking with him for a while. Like he said, when he came out the hotel, he was looking fly, had his suit on. I mean, he had his clothes on. She looked at his shoes and was like, um, "Yo, what are those?" Basically, like why
right,
you
right,
like
right.
one of those, why you got all this stuff, fly stuff on? Why you got these busted shoes on? And
Yeah,
he said he let that slide, right? And then he said he was on the plane. This is his story from after party. He said he was on the plane and he was talking about she was talking about being loud, being obnoxious to the point where the stewardess had to tell him to come down and settle. So I
yeah.
guess you wanted to keep picking on him, and I don't know, man. But hey, people out there calling her a Karen, so you know how they
Oh,
how.
she carried up quick too, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I felt unsafe. Oh, okay, yeah, because a black man just told you to, it's like he stood up for himself.
yeah. Black he
That's
stood up
crazy.
for herself, and now she has an issue. And my thing with her, and we talked about it. And I want you to get your thoughts on this. How do you feel when she stepped up to a black guy? It say, "I'll fight you."
I had okay. First, hey Jackie.
Hey.
First, first off, I have an issue with that. Anyway, like anybody stepping up to anybody talking about I'm gonna fight you. That's for me. That's silly. Secondly, it's a female walking up to I don't know how big he is, but you can tell he work out. You're asking to be in a losing battle, right? Why walk up to him and even if you were playing like that, 'cause I think she was like trying to say that she was playing. Why not figure out if he understood that you were playing? You know what I'm saying? Not just
Mhm.
going in, I'll fight you. Like that's silly to me. Like no, don't no, that's backwards, man. Like no. Last thing you want to do is go up to him and say I'll fight you. Like and then you put your husband in that's the thing that bothered me the most. She put her husband in the most awkward position because at this point her husband knew Elijah one longer than he knew her.
Mhm.
You know, that's one. And then her husband doesn't seem like the type that's gonna be like, all right, I don't like if she say she want to fight you, all right, I gotta step up and fight you. Like, no, he's trying to diffuse the whole thing. Um, so it's like it was a very inconsiderate thing that she was doing and putting him in such a position. It's like he got to make a decision. I think his decision was great. Don't get me wrong about Mark. I think what Mark did was he diffused the situation really well. But Lindsay, I don't know, man. Like that's man, it's tough.
But you made a point that I didn't think about, man. He did know Elijah one longer than he knew her.
Right.
Right. And him and Elijah one created a bond, and now you got this dude who has to make a decision. Do I look like a punk in front of my new wife?
Right.
or do I try to check the big guy and try to look like a hero, right? And
Right.
what do I do in this situation? Punk or hero?
It reminds me of Eric and Virginia when it came to Chris.
Yeah.
And I like that Mark addressed the situation later, but you could tell he ain't come like Eric. He wasn't all liquored up and in the room getting all hyped up like, you ain't gonna talk to my wife like that. Mark came there and was like, let's let cooler heads prevail. We're getting to know each other. Like you said, he was real sensible about it.
Like he looked at the I loved it. He looked at the situation, was like, I gotta do the right thing, And I would have even took it a step further by checking my wife.
Yes, sir.
Like that's the first thing it is. It's like, hey, we're wrong, and where we, this is where we're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Let's not cross that line. And man, she crossed it, kicked it, picked it up, moved it, everything she possibly could do to that line. And then didn't apologize to them. Like that's another thing too. It's like, why not apologize to him for, like, you saw that he was uncomfortable. If it made you unsafe, do the sensible thing and say, hey, I didn't mean any harm by it. I'm sorry that we had any type of, riffraff or anything like that. I felt the type of way, you felt the type of way. Does it squash it? Instead of Mark having to do that. Like, I still think she needs to go back and correct the situation as well.
Absolutely.
I think that was a key there too. I think that made me upset when I watched it. Like, she didn't come downstairs and address the situation, and yet instead she sat on a balcony or whatever and cried like, Toma, this was a traumatic event that you created, right?
That's the thing. I can understand if it was vice versa and he created the situation for her, but you poked the bear.
Yes.
Right. And then, like you said, what we found on the after party, you kept poking. This wasn't the first ending. You had poked this man from all the way from Boston on the flight till y'all got to Puerto Rico, and you was poking him and poking him and poking him until dude said, you know what, I can't take enough. I can't take any more. Here it is. And then you saw his girl who's ride or die.
Already.
She's already like she said, like, you ain't gonna be messing with my man or talking to my man like that. We ain't having that.
I liked her response, but I didn't like her response. And it took me watching other reviews to figure out, like, her response could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
When he was like, I'm done with it, I'm cool, blase, 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 she should have been done with it. Right. I like the fact that she stepped up and was like, hey, I don't want him to get in no trouble. So, this fight is your fight, is my fight. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciated that. But it's like, just calm down. Because I think in the preview, they said, like, she said something to her, like, afterwards. I don't know what she said, but it's like, just squash it. After he's like, I'm done with it and I'm cool. Just let it be.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. She really should have followed his lead, and like maybe it would have helped if Lindsay came and was like, my bad.
Yeah.
But that's the problem that you have, that your woman's all hyped up at the chick, and she don't seem like she getting ready to come down off of her ledge.
Right.
So yeah, it causes a rift between, when Mark intercepts instead of letting Lindsay take care of the situation. I think it would have been better. Now, and of course, I'd be like Katina, like, we ain't gonna be friends or nothing, but okay, you good.
Right.
We'll go from there. But yeah,
Right.
if she still, Katina's still hype, I better not see her.
Right. And that was the thing. Just thinking about it now, it's like, as a married couple, you kind of feed off each other's energy, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so them just meeting, I think this is like their second, maybe third day together, period. Like knowing each other and everything like that. And they know, okay, it's me. Like if we had the team off, it's me and her versus him and her. So her energy could have riled him back up, and she never knew that would happen. They're in the Puerto Rico, not at home, and she having this I want to fight energy, not necessarily saying that she was like, oh, I want to fight, but having this high energy about the situation, and then here comes Elijah one getting fired up again, and Mark comes down trying to apologize. He just punches Mark in the face.
Right.
It would have been really a big issue, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad they were able to keep their cool, and Mark was able to step in the way he did.
Yeah, Mark came in to save the day because I think everybody likes Mark. Everybody enjoyed Mark. Everybody know Mark is truthful. We know Katina had some issues with Lindsay before. It wasn't that major, but when it was at the bachelorette party, it's a different thing that was going on.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen, Lindsay has rubbed a lot of the girls, the ladies, the wrong way just because of who she is, how boisterous she is. Now, I know they didn't show it, and I'm going to ask you, and I think a little alcohol was involved because the way she was throwing it away, leading to the wedding.
Yeah,
I think Lindsay probably been drinking a little before they even got on the plane. The night before when they got on the plane. Now, Married at First Sight may not want to show it because they don't want another Virginia incident because we dog Virginia, right?
Right.
We dog Virginia because they showed Virginia drinking all the time and doing what she did. I think Lindsay might have been a little drunk.
I can see that. I can see that. That's I can't say that that's what it was, but I can definitely see that. Like, cause I mean, man, Elijah is a big guy.
Yeah.
And for me to be like, yeah, man, I'm gonna just pick on him. I ain't no punk or anything, but I'm not gonna step up to him like that.
Right. She must have felt.
She had to have some liquid courage.
Yeah, that's what it is. Some liquid courage was in her.
Right.
And, the crazy part about it was you don't know your spouse well enough to put him in that situation.
Right.
And I think that's the key too. And you don't know your spouse enough to say, you know what, that might be a total turnoff for him, and he could just cut you off.
Right.
You're 2 days in, and I got to fight every night to prove my love.
Nobody wants to do that.
Right. Nobody wants to be the guy always putting out fires. Right. You never want to be the guy that everywhere you and your girl go is a complaint. You got to go to the glove compartment in your car. You got to make sure your pizza. Nobody wants to do that. And I think, and that's what we're seeing right now with Mark. He's going to be the guy. I think Lindsay's dad said it in a previous episode. Like, have you ever wrestled an alligator? He get ready, and that's what it seems like Mark is gonna have to do is keep wrestling this alligator and making apologies for her. It'll be interesting to see what happens when she gets back with the group. And, we see previews that her and Katina have some words. But again, my biggest thing, I think our biggest thing, I think a lot of people's biggest thing was that after it all happened, she played the victim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I hated that. Like, don't throw stones and then put your hands behind your back when somebody questions you. Like be a man and woman and admit to what you did. Like, don't go volunteering information, but admit to what you did.
Yeah, definitely admit to what you did. And in that situation there. Let's move on a little bit. Let's move on. We saw Steve and Noy, right? Steve and Noy. I like Steve and I like Noy. And the biggest thing I have with Steve and Noy is, can this survive, in your opinion, 2 weeks in? Your thoughts about my man being a freelancer, free lifestyle, brother. He's like, you know what? If I work, I work. If I don't, I don't. Your thoughts on Noy and Steve?
So okay, let me put this disclaimer out there. My wife thinks completely different from me. So we did our review already. So if you after this, check it out. But I think Steve bothers me because he doesn't have the job. Like Artika brought up the fact that we don't know how his freelancing is providing for him.
Right.
But he said, I think he was like, they him and Noah was talking, and then he was like, something about if I decide to get a job or go back to working or something like that. I'm like, that conversation needs to happen sooner than later. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I understand y'all about to go on your honeymoon and stuff like that, but I don't feel like talking about maybe not going back and working again, or providing in a sense, or just not having a real plan for us. I know for us, we haven't seen how he plans to provide, but they do talk about having kids and growing their family and stuff. But I was like, man, somebody gotta, like, he can't have the babies. So while she's pregnant, like, how do you provide? You know, and stuff like that. So that's my like biggest pet. 1099s pay bills. Okay.
Look, I was getting ready to go there with RTK because I'm almost basically, I am basically 1099, right?
Yeah.
I am basically 1099s. Everything I do, 1099, my businesses and all that. So 1099 do pay the bills. Again, they have to have that discussion. He has to know, again, write down the budget, what makes your lifestyle, how much, what do your good months look like, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And what does your bad months look like? Because those who
Right.
are out there, entrepreneurs, freelance, or you run your own businesses, or you're on 1099s, there are some months where you're doing great, man. We're rolling, right? We're rolling. But there are also some months where you're lean. So what has to happen with them is they're gonna have to have this discussion. Okay, you want to keep your freelancing business? That's fine. What months are your key months? What months are your low months? And how can we bring this together so we can do it together and not be being seriously debt, or 1 month where it's low for you and something happens, or I get pregnant, I gotta go out, or I get sick, and we're looking at each other like, what we gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Or just period, like you said, just and Tommy said it, having this conversation up front, sooner rather than later, and coming, not even this month, that, but coming like, hey, this is what I got right now.
Yeah. Right.
Because coming into a marriage, especially with somebody you don't know, a woman is looking for some security in that marriage. And so I got to know, I don't know you at all. And right now, you sound unstable. It don't sound secure. I'm shaky. So he gonna have to build his case, and he gonna have to put on a glowing presentation for her to be like, okay, I feel better. I feel he gonna have to say, hey, I'm freelancing, but don't get it twisted. I'm freelancing, shoot, I'll bring it in
Right.
money. So she'll be like, okay, because when she first hear freelancing, no, she like, bruh, not no $100 a month. What is you doing?
Right. I mean, he's an engineer again, so he might have a consulting job where he brings in $10,000 to $15,000 a pop. You know what I'm saying? It depends on where he's at and what he's working on.
It's gonna have to be a conversation, and it might be. I hope he's comfortable with saying, you know what, for the sake of my marriage, for the sake of my wife, I don't have a problem getting a 9 to 5, if that makes you feel better. But I'm gonna still do my freelancing. I'm gonna do this. Be willing to compromise on that and say, I understand. I don't want you to feel like you out here swinging by yourself and you got to do everything. So yeah, let me do this for a little bit.
Yeah, but my only thing with that, my man must have money saved up because he said he went 4 months, y'all.
Oh, he said
he went. It's like he has to have something in his back pocket. Another thing I was thinking about too was like not only just having the conversation, but showing her like, okay, I went on this 4-month vacation. Like the average person can't do that, right?
Right.
And he has to say if they don't go deep into the conversation, they have to come, like he has to say, we're good on that front. We have to say something.
I just saw it too.
I'm gonna put it up there, right?
But I think and I hate bringing in production on a lot of stuff, but I hope production goes deeper into their finance conversation.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we are only speculating with Steve, right? For our sake, and we're like, okay, as people that watch it, we're like, man, that's a bad combination. You come in a situation without a job, or like, how do you make money? So we want to know, and hopefully that, he tells her this is how I make money, and everything be cool.
Everything be cool. I hope that helps. That hope they can get past that. I mean, I
Yeah.
think she has a good mindset right now, right? She has a good mindset about that. So she's not really making that a big issue. She's trying to get to know him and trying to understand who he is and what he does in life and how he treats her. So she's comfortable right now.
Yeah, like that's the only issue I have with them. I think they're like great together. You know what I'm saying? I like how they, kind of like balance. She's like up here and he's kind of laid back. I love that, but it's like, dude, can you provide in the manner that she wants you to? Because that's even a thing. Can you guys get on the same ship and sail the same way?
Right, because I don't think she want to get married. Her lifestyle has to come down, right?
Right, exactly.
You get married, at least your lifestyle stays the same or go up a little bit. You don't want to get married and your lifestyle have to take a big dip or go drastically down because of your spouse. So that's one of the things with Steve and Noy. Didn't see really too much with them. We had the brother Sriracha, or sister Sriracha, come out and try to challenge him, which I thought was dynamic, with him. And he didn't show any reaction either way, which I thought was cool because he didn't let him bother him. And I think that was the ideal, or what Sriracha wanted to do, was see, when you married Noy, you married all of us. So this is what you're going to get. And I want to see if you're able to accept that. And I thought Steve did a great job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he handled those questions well. And everything. He handled, is it Sriracha or Sriracha?
Sriracha, yeah.
Sriracha. He handled her well. And I can appreciate that from Sriracha, because the night before, he was Michael, right? Yeah, so the night before, and I think that kind of warmed him up, a little bit, because he's like, are y'all gonna have sex? Wait a minute, man. What are you asking me? And then the next day, the Sriracha came and asked and was firing them off too.
Yeah.
It was like, man. But I think he handled that well. I just hope the family can the mom didn't seem to like the idea of like how to like not having a job. So I hope everybody can get over that.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of,
well, I mean, shoot, his own parents seem like they not used to it. So
right, because they asked about it, right?
Yeah, they was like, he ain't got no job, right?
I've heard that joke my whole life, man.
Right.
He ain't got no job.
Dad called him a vagabond.
I'm like, dang. Okay, Dad.
Hey, people are like, what do you do? What do you actually do for a living, right?
Right.
Don't worry about it. I get those questions. Don't worry about it. What do you actually do? I've been there, done that. I'm not necessarily sure, Rose. I'm not sure. Tommy, maybe you may know.
I can't remember.
What does Joy do for a living? I'm not sure.
I'm gonna have to go back and look again. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't. She's some type of. I'm gonna make something up. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, but I'm gonna try to find out for you, Rose, so we can give it to you before the show's over. All right. Let's move on to this couple. We talk about moms, right? And I always get this young lady, Jasmina, right?
Yes, yeah.
Jasmina mom didn't want nothing to do with Michael, bro. she was your typical African American mama, like, you know what? What's your intentions? I don't agree with this, but she doing it anyway, so I'm gonna do it. Your thoughts on her mom and the way that she reacted to Michael?
I just was like, Mike got a lot of proving to do.
Yeah.
He needs to say what he mean what he say. Talent acquisition coordinator. That's what she does.
Thank you.
Say what he mean what he say, and keep promises. I think if he does that, like she's being a typical parent. Somebody comes in their child's life, they're not gonna 100% trust them. Like, you shouldn't. You got to earn my trust just like everybody else does. So, he just got a lot of he got an uphill battle for that one, and it's gonna be tough. It's definitely gonna be tough. So that's why I thought I thought it was funny that she was like when her first reaction when she found out that she was actually getting married, she was like really, really startled, and how she accepted it, and then now sitting down with Mike, it's like, nah, I don't like this. But you accepted it already. Just accept it and and move forward. But she responded the way a parent normally would respond to a new boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Tommy, because at first she was very reluctant when Jasmina told her. And then I think because Jasmina was so stressed getting prepared for the marriage, the wedding, she put on a different hat. In that moment, she realized, okay, I can't be the reluctant, panicky kind of mama because she about to lose it. So if I act like that, she might not make it down the aisle. Right, and I don't think she had a problem with that ultimately, but she was like, you know what, it's what she wants to do. So let me just encourage her. And then after the fact, she thought about it again. She was like, but I'm back to where I was at. Right. I don't know him. I don't know him. and I think she also kind of had that hat on, I'm gonna tell on somebody. So like our oldest daughter, she's got a boyfriend and he's really nice guy. And my husband likes him, but he puts that air on, like he be like, I like you. Now look. Because he likes him, but he make him feel like sometimes, but I don't like you. Yeah, but I like you.
Yeah, but bro, hey, I like you, but I'm still keep an eye on you, right? Right. That's how I keep. Hey, I like you, but I'm keep an eye on. When I come in the house and you over here, you might want to stand up when I come to the door and shake my hand, like, hey, Mr. And he does. So but I still like, yo,
yeah, you still gotta put that hard exterior on. Like, I mean, I like you, but don't think you getting over on me. That's still my big baby girl. Okay. Right. I kind of got that vibe from her. Like, I like you from what I know so far, but don't get comfortable. Still stay on your P's and Q's, like you said, Tommy. You're gonna have to show up. You're gonna have to be in place. You're gonna have to display what I'm expecting. I'm gonna need you to take care of her heart. Cause one wrong move, bruh, is over.
That's a done deal.
Yeah,
it's a done deal. But see, you got a couple more years before Lily
a couple.
You got a long time before she get there, right?
Right. Oh man. Like, something else I wanted to say about Michael too. He didn't make that an easy meeting for her either.
No.
By just saying, hey, I have no representation of marriage, like nothing. Yeah. You didn't watch the Cosby Show. You didn't watch I don't
Family
know
Matters.
Who?
Family Matters.
Family Matters. You didn't watch any of these shows that showed a progressive and positive marriage. You say nobody in your family. It's like somebody around you had to have a decent marriage or something you saw, and you say I have nothing, only like what I think should happen in a marriage. Like, come on, man. Like, you present that better.
You ain't see Dr. Phil. What was that little lady name? You ain't got nobody, you ain't see nothing. You ain't read a book. You don't even know. Do you have an idea, right? What is your idea? Did you write anything down? Give me something. I would never come to the table and say, you know what, I have no idea of marriage. So I don't even know how to take care of a woman. Basically what he said. I don't even know how to take care of a wife.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about it like that, Tommy. Yeah, when you put it in that perspective, it's like, okay, I know Married at First Sight is an experiment, and now you're gonna tell me you're gonna experiment.
Right.
And my daughter like, no, you're just gonna try some stuff out. No, because you don't know what you're doing.
How you come to that meeting knowing that you're about to talk to her parents, about to talk to her sisters, and then just say, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even have an idea of what I'm doing. Oh. And the idea that I have of relationships all were of a single parent or a single person, Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, look, we'll talk about picks at the end because I already told my wife I don't think they cut it.
I do want to say I think Jasmina is beautiful though. I tell my wife this all the time. It's like, man, next to you, she the baddest thing walking, man.
Michael definitely hit the lottery.
Yo, he hit the lottery.
He did.
This Michael did.
This Michael did, right? Yeah, because like I told her, in our review, I talk about all the time. There's some names on this show that don't work well. When anybody who named Chris, anybody who named Michael, and Ryan and Zach, they don't do well on this show, right?
They don't.
They don't do. If your name is one of those people, stop applying for Married at First Sight. It does not work for you, right?
Don't work out well.
It doesn't work out well. But with them, what really thought stood out with them was this: the little argument they had at the end, right? The argument that they had at the end because he thinks everything is negative, and she sees the positive in everybody. Now, this is from when I looked at him, like, this is a paranoid person. When you can look at a person, and when you go into a room of people, and I believe he's a trainer or something, like, how do you think negative things about people that you just met all the time, right? It just doesn't work well. You got to have some kind of positivity coming into a room or coming into a big place with people where everybody should have a clean slate when you meet them. And that's the way she was saying. She's like, I can't think of things negative about folks.
I think, Lyd, like that was something me and Artika brought up was I was like, I always think of a plan B. Like when I go over somebody's house, I won't park in their driveway.
Right.
I park on the street facing the way to leave. And I do that because I'm always thinking, how am I going to get out of here? If I need to leave in a hurry, if I don't, how am I going to get out? And so I get his line of thinking, of like thinking the worst thing to happen. But I keep those things to myself. I feel like, be positive, be optimistic about a situation, take people for face value, because that's all we have until somebody proves you wrong. But it's okay to have that emergency plan. But that everybody doesn't need to know their emergency plan. And whatever he was trying to start this argument about with her, I was like, this is the dumbest thing in the world, brother.
Right.
You on your honeymoon, man. Like nothing should be. My honeymoon was great. I didn't have any issues. Everything was beautiful. You want to go do this? All right, let's do it. But for him, it's like all the most negative thing. Keep that to yourself and just run off of. If you don't say anything, just say yes to her. Until you like feel a way that you can't say. Like if she puts you in a situation where you're like, nah, I just can't say yes to. But just go along with what she's trying to do and listen to her. Mm-hmm. This is his to. As I was looking at that, I was like, this relationship is his to mess up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way I look at it as well. This relationship is his to mess up. I think she's in it for the long haul. Mm-hmm. I think she wants everything to work right, but I think if it's something he says, something he does, or not being forgiving, or not be able to bend a little bit, or as his sister said, and when they was doing the pre-show, post-show, the pre-show leading up to the weddings, that sometimes he can be so strict or so tough that people don't see the laughter of him or the soft side of him. And you can see that a little bit where he can go either which way, but she also has to be careful on how she handles him.
Right.
I think his family was the one that said be patient with him, right? Mm-hmm. Like be patient with him and work along with him. So she has to show some kind of patience to work along with him to guide him along, because again, like you said, he has no example, right? Mm-hmm. He has no example. He doesn't know what to base on. He don't know how to react. He don't know how to deal with it. But this is where I think Pastor Cal needs to talk to him a lot, or they need to talk to the experts a lot to find out what's going on and how he can handle this. I don't see any red flags as of yet, but I think that conversation they had about the way he sees things, it can go south, man, because she can not come home one time. I'll be home at 5, right? And she come home at 6:30. Where you been at? What you been doing? Right? And it just goes off and escalates.
Yeah. It just goes backwards from there, man. And then on her side, like, because I don't like picking on just one person.
Right.
From her side, man, like, she's got like you said, she's got a lot of work to do just because she don't want to push the wrong button for him. But like being able to bend and stuff and everything like that, I still think she needs to stand up for us. Like not just go ahead and go along with things that he does, or just kind of push it over to the side from the way he's thinking or whatnot. So I really appreciated her standing her ground in that conversation that they were having. But I'm just curious to see how they pan out, man.
That's what I was about to say, Tommy. I'm thinking, like, based on this conversation, like they said they had their first argument or disagreement. I was like, to me, that was just a difference of opinion.
Right, right.
that's all it was. To me, it wasn't even a big thing. And maybe that's because I've been married for a while. And obviously, you know, I knew my husband, like, you don't know them. But I felt like what the discussion they had, that was something small. I mean, it's a personality thing in him, but the way the conversation went, it was small. It wasn't explosive or anything.
Right.
And so I'm hoping, you know, from this, they don't take it to heart too much.
Right.
And cause that to be a big thing with them. Because I'm like, man, you could have been fussing about something else. It could have been something way bigger than that. So don't take it so hard. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And don't be so quick to say, "Oh, we're arguing," and be excited. Like, you know it's coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just let it, when it gets there, just be in the moment and figure it out together and move past it, man. But
yeah,
like, don't be so quick to argue, man, because I mean, they come and you have to sit back and be like, nah, you know, like they can come and hit you hard, man. So
right, yeah, this is such it was such a small disagreement on
the smallest thing in the world.
It was the smallest thing in the world, and like that's my thing. If this hurts your feelings, right? If this messed you up, that is really, you know, that's really, if that messed you up, we got a problem.
That's gonna be a long 8 weeks for him.
It's gonna be a long 8 weeks.
That's what messed him up. So
I'm gonna add somebody else to this. You know, what's up, Chloe? How you doing?
Hey, Chloe. How are you?
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
I know. I was trying to get up here as fast as I could. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you as well. Just giving our thoughts where we at right now. Giving our thoughts on Jasmina and Michael. The little non-argument that they had, which really is not an argument.
So I was listening. I totally disagree with both of y'all. Okay. This is how I saw it, right? So I took it like Jasmina really had those thoughts already in her head because of what his family said. So she already had that notion. And then also he asked her, how did you think tonight went? And she said, you know, it was okay, whatever, because of everything that happened. And he was like, well, I'm assuming that, you know, it's going to be more conflict. And I felt like, well, that makes sense. It's already been conflict. Then it makes sense that it may be more conflict. She's like, but no, I don't assume like that. And I'm like, why wouldn't you? It already happened. Why wouldn't you assume it's going to be more if it already happened? And then she said, what'd she say? She said, so, no, she said she thinks everything's going to be positive, and that's sabotage in itself. Whenever you get in any type of relationship, a marriage, anything, and you go in with the intent that everything's going to be perfect, you already set yourself up for failure because nothing's going to be perfect ever. You're going to argue. You're going to have times where you dislike each other. You're going to have times where things are wrong. Reality, that's basic reality. That's not setting yourself up for failure. You know that it's possible if you go to a nightclub and you in a hood, it might be a shootout. Like you got to think of the reality of the situation. Do you go with the intent that it's going to be a shootout? No, but you know, it's possible. It might be a shootout tonight, you know? Like, it just made sense to me. That's why I was like, why is she making this a big deal? She got angry because she couldn't understand, because she thought of it as him thinking of things being negative instead of thinking of things being reality.
That's when he said he was a realist, right?
Yeah, he said, I'm just thinking of it like basic reality. And I was like, that is basic reality. You know, it doesn't have to, she processed it that way because she already had that pre-notion. That's why I was like, see, Jasmine, you making this more than what it needs to be. They had conflict, so why wouldn't you think there might not be any more? Like, I didn't get that.
I get what you're saying. I mean, it's just, for me, it's just like, like, that's a common knowledge thing, you know? That's the way I looked at the whole situation. And I feel like those, like, you don't have to say it, you know?
But she asked them.
I guess you're right.
And then she also said, do you think that, he asked her, he said, so you don't think we ever going to have an argument? And she was like, I don't think like we're going to ever have an argument. Girl, come on. Everybody who in a relationship, ever been in a relationship with their brothers, their sisters, their mothers, their kids, you argue. That's natural.
Yeah. Right.
Because you're attached. Whenever you're attached to anything, there's always going to be times where you're going to argue.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I agree with that statement because you're two different people, right? we expect those they have different agreements. You came from different walks of life. You come from different families, different homes. As we mentioned before you got on, he has not seen any marriages in whatsoever, right? He has no example of what a good marriage looks like, what a bad. He has no reference of marriage. They will have some disagreements. I think the thing that stuck on me was when she was like, you know, the negative side of it. Of course, that he's going to always see things negative, or she's always looking at things positive. You know, we're different people from her perspective. Some people are people that everything's going to work out, right? You know, you got some people that I don't care how bad it gets, everything is always going to work out for my good. So I'm not even going to look at it as a negative. I'm going to walk like it's going to work out. And then you got some people who, like, you know, they can't handle adversity or can't handle situation. And so he seems like a little bit when adversity comes, I'm going to think about how to handle it, but I'm not sure about it. She seemed like, you know what, if I got control over it, I'm going to try to make sure everything runs, I can say perfect, but I'm going to run it and try to make sure everything runs smooth.
But like what I get what you're saying, Chloe. It's like, it's a difference. And Michael called, it's a difference to me between being a realist and being pessimistic. Mm-hmm. To me, he came off pessimistic. Okay. Like you said, for the club incidents. Okay, so you know, if you in the hood, it's a possibility. That's being real. But going in there, looking at everybody, he got a gun. You know, you pessimistic, like, hold on. It's you know, and like, I'll just be real, like me and my husband, when we first got married, that was the thing. It's one thing to be pessimistic and being real. Like, we had conversations where he'd be like, already assuming the worst. When I go to Jackie and say this, she gonna act like this. It's not gonna go good. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to saying she might receive it, she might not. That's the realist about it. It could go either way. But some people go into a situation like it's not gonna be good. And so that's the way she kind of looked at what he said. Like, you can't say it's gonna be bad because it don't have to be that way.
But she looked at it. She only looked at it that way because she already had that thought in the back of her brain.
I agree.
I think if they would have never said it, she would have never thought twice, considering the fact that they had already had an argument. They were already fighting, you know? Like, I could see if nothing happened. And then she was like, so do you think there's going to be conflict? And he's like, yeah, but they already had conflict.
Exactly.
Like, you think it's going to be more conflict? Well, yeah, I mean, it's a chance. They already had conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Katina already told her, don't bring her by me. Don't hear me. Okay?
Right.
Blank, period.
So we talked about them. So I want your thoughts on the whole Elijah, Lindsay, Katina situation.
Okay, so let me make this very, very clear. Lindsay is a Karen.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be too direct because it's not my channel. But
feel free.
For her to go up there and basically pick with him over and over, because even on the after party, he said that she said he looked fly, but his shoes look cheap, blah, 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 all this other stuff. She was going to continue to poke with him. Mm-hmm. She said that he was in the back of the line waiting for her. She made a lot of allegations that you can't just make all willy-nilly for a black man. Sorry. Point blank, period. And it's people like that put people like us in different situations that we be sitting there looking like, how did this turn into this?
Right.
You think that if he did all those things that she got on that porch and cried about on the airplane, and everybody was going to be, if he did that, you thought all of them was going to be on a bus with them? No, Elijah and Katina would have been on their own bus.
Yes.
They're not going to separate them from them. That don't make sense. So it already showed that, bro, you want to sit up here and turn them crocodile tears on, I'm supposed to fall for this? Girl, if you don't get off my screen and stop playing with me.
Right. Because bro was cool. I mean, think about it. He was cool on the bus. He was like, yo, and what my thing was, I like, he was cool and he was so quick to forgive. Like, yo, his thing was like, yo, I'm in Puerto Rico. I ain't gonna let nothing
ruin my time.
I ain't gonna let I'm in Puerto Rico. My wife look fine. I'm thinking about trying to get me some. I ain't gonna let nothing.
Right.
Look, Coach Todd. Look, we the only men on here, right? You know how men are thinking, right? I ain't letting nothing mess with me.
Said it. He was like, man, you ain't asking no questions. We ain't starting no argument. I'm trying to enjoy myself.
I can tell that he probably did get a little abrasive at one point because he had to, but ultimately, they know what's up.
Yeah,
They know what's up.
definitely.
He got swollen his chest. He's
Puff it up,
not
puff
ready.
it up,
I'm like, girl.
girl.
It's
She
like
was
you
so
said.
uncomfortable.
Right, because like you said, when he talked about it, the way he talked about it on the bus with them, he would have still been hyped. And he wasn't. He wasn't. Katina was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely was. But that's because as a woman, naturally, if someone's approaching your man, you automatically go into like, okay, I'm gonna handle this, just like a man would do for his woman.
Yes.
But the fact that Mark didn't even do all of that, he came downstairs to apologize, just shows you
She was in the wrong.
he was in the wrong.
Yeah.
And then he went and lied to her and told her that he said, Elijah said, he just want to make sure she's comfortable. That man didn't say that. He never said that. I said, what's wrong with him? They both crazy at this point. Deserve each other.
I totally agree. I think it'll be, as I mentioned, it's going to be interesting to see when she gets back with the group,
Yeah.
how they respond and how they react to her. Because Alyssa already doesn't feel her. Because we would go back to the bachelorette party, Alyssa's not feeling her. And she's not feeling Alyssa. You already got Katina who not feeling Lindsay as well. So Alyssa may not have too many she may not have too many allies in this situation. And Noy seems like she don't even get involved in none of that stuff, right? Noy's like, you know what? I ain't about that life. I'm not about that life whatsoever. And Jasmina is like, I think she could care less, right?
Yeah.
So Lindsay may just be out there flying by herself in this situation.
Well, they going to, it looked like her and Katina getting into it again, right?
Yeah.
We
said don't bring her around me, but they ain't want to listen.
No.
They're not gonna listen. So we're gonna deal with at this point. I'm glad you on, Chloe, because we're gonna talk about the girl, which is gonna take up most of the time anyway, right? The young lady Alyssa. I'm gonna be respectful, right? Alyssa is showing her natural tail. No other adjectives. She's showing her natural tail. And my man Chris is doing well, but bruh, I ain't got that much patience. I don't have that much patience. I done signed up for this show. We done did this, and we signed up. I got my family here because I can't go back to this. I gotta go back to the fact that even at the wedding, he was like, "Yo, she kept avoiding me. She kept walking around.
I kept trying to get close by to dance near her somewhere else." I was like, "Dang!" And that was before she talked to his friends. That was before she talked to his friends. Come on now,
Tommy. Your thoughts on Alyssa and Chris?
I forgot that she was like avoiding him at the reception. But I feel so bad for Chris. I'm like watching it in my notes. I feel bad for Chris. Oh, this is terrible for Chris. He really wanted to try. I feel bad for him. I'm gonna start with the conversation they had at the end when he was like, "Did she try?" Like that she didn't try, and I was like, "She's tried up until the point she saw him." You know what I'm saying? She was excited about getting picked to do it. She was excited about buying all them dresses and picking out a dress. She was excited about meeting them. And then once she met him, she didn't find him attractive. And so now she's just looking for an out. Anything could be an out, you know. He could have said, his mama could have said, well, I ain't like her cowboy boots. That's an out for her. You know, me and your mama ain't gonna get along. Whatever it is, she just doesn't like him. She don't think he's attractive. And so everything behind that is going to be just basically a snowball building her case. But the issue is, it's like you came on Married at First Sight. Like you can't be this picky on Married at First Sight because you don't have any choice in who it is at the altar. So she's showing her behind. Like I didn't like that she went to the producers, told them the issue, but he's sitting out here like no clue what's going on. No, didn't like that. They have this conversation off camera. Like that's just like, why come on this show if you're gonna have to, do everything off camera? And then when he goes to talk to your parent, your mom, and your friend, he's like, what am I supposed to do? She don't like me or whatnot. She's not having a good time. But this is just the first or second day. What am I supposed to do? Because they know her the best. And then mom's sitting up there lying. You know, like y'all know she don't like him. How's he supposed to proceed? You know, I just feel really bad for him because he seems so genuine in trying to like really get into this experiment. I know Artika brought up the fact that he was so willing to change how he wanted to do when it came to them going on the honeymoon or whatnot, and she was like she didn't like that. You know, she didn't want a man. I don't know what Artika said verbatim, but she didn't want a guy that's willing to change like that, or I guess be indecisive. But he's just trying to please her.
Mm-hmm.
She would have like if I was Chris, she left me out there and then have this conversation at 2:30. I would have called the experts at 3, told them what's going on. You asked me how I need to proceed, but like she was gonna like I wasn't gonna be nice. After that, I'm gonna give you what you give me, and that's the end of the conversation. So he's better than me, but I don't know. I just feel really bad for him.
you look like you feel really bad for him.
I do. I really do. It's like it's sad watching it. You know, like I look forward to like what kind of BS she gonna do today. But it's like when it gets to him, you be like you see those like we just watching HGTV today, and they show all these commercials of puppies and dogs that cats that been abused and stuff. And it's like you can't sit there and watch that with a smile, you know. So you're sitting here like, he really taking a beating. This just like the third day he knew her.
Yeah.
Like, golly, man, can it really get better? You know, it's just a sad situation. And yeah, the experts would have been called already for me.
I think I said this. Wouldn't have been the experts. I'd have been like, before we sign this, I'm not signing this marriage license. Y'all need 50 grand? Guess what? I'm gonna give you my 50 grand. I'm breaking contract today. I'm done.
I wasn't gonna break the contract because I was gonna make her, you know, if she don't want to go through with it, I'm gonna do my things by myself. I'm cool. Pay me because I signed up for it. Pay me. But yeah.
Be just like
what you gonna do with her.
Yeah, be just like Paige and Mindy.
Right.
And I'm still gonna finish it up.
Right.
You're gonna act like a tail, and that's fine. That's fine.
That's on you.
Chloe, your thoughts about Alyssa and Chris? Take as much time as you need.
It's a lot. It's a lot. No, so Alyssa told Chris that she wants them to enjoy this experience. And I said, Chris, she wants you to enjoy your experience in the story. I don't like that she kept going over to, she kept trying to make it seem like it's everything but what it was. Hi. I don't like that she tried to make it seem like it was everything but what it was.
Right.
Okay, so it was what the friends said. It was what the family said. It was we have nothing in common. Girl, you learn all you said they say they don't have the same hobbies, they don't do the same stuff, blah 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 blah. How would you know that? Because Chris counted out 40 minutes for us, so we didn't have to do it. So you learned all of this about this man in 40 minutes. Granted, if he is an a-hole, right? Like he said he could be. Granted, you didn't even give him the chance to show you that. You didn't even get a chance to talk to him and to say the things that was said about him, to give him a chance to defend himself or to explain himself. You did none of that. So if you want to be honest, let's just say what it is. It's this. It has nothing to do with anything, because had that been someone else sitting at that altar, she would have been like, I don't care what the family say. He fine. I'm going to get to know him. I'm going to get to know him for myself. That's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. But no. Girl, you should be happy that he liked them boots, because it's the boots. No one liked them ugly boots but you. Like, that's the problem that I have with Alyssa. And I honestly wish that they could have just sent her home, because there was no reason for her to be there. I can see if she would have said, Chris, let's be honest. I'm not physically attracted to you. I'm struggling with this. I'm willing to give it a shot, but it's going to have to be very slow because I'm struggling. I would have took that. But for you to go up there and go all into this whole thing, like, oh my God, his family said this, his mother said this. Oh my God, I can't, like, girl, bye. Miss me with all of that. Like, that's BS and you know it. But you can't be honest enough because you don't want to hurt his feelings. BS, because you don't have to hurt his feelings to be honest. And that's it.
Hold on. That's exactly where I was gonna go, Chloe, because her thing on after party was, I'm not gonna be mean and hurt somebody's feelings on camera. That's why I didn't want to do it on camera. I wanted to do it off camera. And that was my thing. It's a way that you can say it to somebody where, I mean, it's the conversation's gonna hurt, period. You know, when somebody tells you, even, and especially if you don't feel the best about yourself anyway, if somebody presents that to you, it's gonna be like, dang, I mean, that hurt. But it's the, like you said, it's the way you said it. You know, I'm used to this, you know, or, you know, I'm struggling with this. You know, we're gonna have to build it. I hope we can build an attraction. I want to get to know you, you know, off the top. It's just not there for me. I have to be honest with you. You don't go in there and say, you ugly, your mama's ugly. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it like that. And she did, and she didn't do it like that. But the other way is when you leave a joker in the dark, you're being mean. You're hurting feelings. He was, when she came out and he had been sitting there all that time, he's like, hey. And she was like, yeah. No. I said, she shut him down. He was oblivious. And like Tommy said, then at the end, we are 2 days in. That man is well within his rights to say, you're not trying, because you're not. I'm not going to stand here and he's calling me a liar. No, he said you're lying. He didn't say you were a liar.
Girl, the fireworks.
I think you are a liar. But in this case, you're just lying. It's terrible. We ran Chris down last season again because it was the way he said it to Paige. But at least he said it.
I wanted Chris to take everything that happened in the last, what are we at, 36 hours from the first time they saw each other. Take everything from the last 36 hours. Let's write it down. And Alyssa, I want you to point on this sheet of paper where you tried. At what moment? Was it before you got to the altar? Was it when we was running away from me at the reception? Was it when you packed up and like you went in this other room and told these producers all this stuff, but you couldn't tell me when you decided to get another hotel room? Like, pinpoint where you tried. Because when people are trying, like my granddaddy always said, nothing beats a failure but a try. Show me where you tried. If we can have some type of conversation, put it on paper, show me where you tried in this relationship, I would give you the benefit of the doubt. But there isn't a place. There's nowhere that you've tried.
She said she tried when she rode on the back of the truck with him.
We've done more for people that we had never even said hello to.
She didn't even want to walk with him in the airport. She ain't tried.
Girl, she walked clean past that man at baggage claim. He was like, I think she just walked past.
Y'all know
and she was like, she walked fast too.
I've had people at Starbucks have deeper conversations with me than that. Like, hey, can you watch this for me real quick? I'm gonna go run outside to my car. Like, you don't know me from Adam, but you thought I was okay to ask me this question, but you can't walk with him in the airport?
It's because they're not compatible.
Oh, he's not a four-legged animal neither.
That too. But the biggest thing is, and this is the running theme with Married at First Sight, if what you were doing was working, you wouldn't be here. If basing your relationship on the way, and I'm not saying, I guess let me put this disclaimer. It's okay not to be physically attracted to somebody. That's fine. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she's wrong for feeling that way. But the other thing is, you said, I'm putting my trust in the experts. that they're going to match me with somebody that's going to be compatible with me. And so that is not necessarily based on the way they look. And if all these meatheads and these beach bums or whatever kind of dudes, you know, Paisan and all that, whatever kind of guys if that worked, then that's who you would be with. The guy you was with for them couple of years, that when it came wedding time, he would have married you. But he didn't. He backed out at the last minute.
And honestly, the men who are like Denzel Washington, okay, they not signing up for Married at First Sight, sis.
No.
So I'm gonna need you to like set the standard a little lower and pray maybe you get that or higher. You going in here thinking you about to get, I can't even think of somebody right now, but you think you about to go get Prince Charming on Married at First Sight? He don't gotta apply. So you got the type of men that have to apply for this show. That's just plain and simple. I mean, Michael lucked up because he got Jasmina. That's a different story. But she's a woman, and women are different cases than men. Trust me. If the man got it all together, if he's financially stable, he got good looks, he's all of this, that, and the other, he's not signing up for Married at First Sight. So you can already take that off the table, logically.
You know, I want to ask you, because all of y'all are women, and Tommy left me. I mean,
we traded out. I was like, I gotta talk about Alyssa.
No, I know you did. I'm just mad.
Help it.
You know, I look at her indecisiveness because she had 10 dresses, right? Mm-hmm. She brought 10 dresses, which already showed you she's a very picky person. And you know, and I blame production for this as well. When she said she didn't like teeth, jagged teeth, and they keep showing this man's teeth, right? I'm like, you know what? Y'all wrong for that. But as a woman, can you go past the looks? You know, how much does it take you to go past the looks to be with somebody that doesn't look like you, or your type? Does it take a lot for a woman? Because for men, I think men can do it easily.
No, I think it might be opposite. No, I think men are more physical than women because we like to be financially stable, protected, and stuff like that. So we of course we want him to be handsome, but I feel like even back in the day when I was dating, there may have been a guy that may not have been, you know, most attractive, but after sitting and talking to him and hanging out with him, and next thing I know, I'm like, do I like him? And I even did that with my husband because I got to the point where I was like, I'm tired of people making those decisions about how I feel about someone based on looks. Mm-hmm. So I think that for men are really like into like, they got to, you know, have a certain body type. They got to be a certain complexion. They got to be a certain weight, height, stuff like that. I think we are more open to embracing any type of man as long as he can be the man that we need.
I think that, like, for me, full transparency, I met Tommy when I was 18 years old. You could not have paid me money to tell me that 11 years later I would marry him. Like, $1 million offer on the table, I would have been like, nope, that ain't who I'm marrying. Not me. But for me, it was never about looks when I was dating. Like, it was always, can he make me laugh? Does he treat me correctly? Like, it was those types of things. Like, pretty face on a man too. Like, it's just, you look at a person and they can be exactly what you want from the aesthetic, but if they treat you like crap, why do you want to be with them? So, like, for me, like, Tommy tried hard. Well, I ain't gonna say he tried hard, but like, when we first started hanging out that led to us dating, it was like he showed up. He did everything that he was supposed to do. Like, I remember we started dating the day I got fired from a job. Like, he was like, hey, you need something. You need me to come get you something to eat. Like, it was just constant things like that. Like, when I was telling him I was going on job interviews after that, he would call me after every interview and be like, hey, how did it go? Did you get that job? And so, like, he's been consistent in that manner. And so I could appreciate that. But that has nothing to do with how he looks.
And now now he's just super fine to you, right? It don't even make no difference. But that's how it goes. Like of course, initially, it's always a big deal for everyone. But if that person is the right person and they're doing what they're supposed to do, we can get past that with no problem.
I think men can get past that. I think some men not worry about looks. Again, yeah, you guys talked about the being able to converse, the conversation piece, being a provider, someone that had to take care of it. And I think with Alyssa, she's not having enough conversation with Chris to even know what type of person he is. She's not having
like, if you play frisbee golf, you're out.
You're out, right? Like, what's that? What's frisbee golf? Well, that's his hobby, right? Have you tried it? Can you try it? You may actually like it, right? It might be relaxing for you. I guarantee if he told her he had about 3 dogs, right? She might even go home with them. But he didn't have any animals. I think she looked for the scapegoat. His friends. What I'm gonna say, I ain't even gonna call them friends because again, why do you tell a person that at the reception that the guy that they married to is indecisive or he's confrontational, whatever the case may be? You don't give no negative reports at this at the reception about the dude. He's your boy. You supposed to talk him up. You supposed to, yo, he's the best man out there. This is the dude. You know what? He's good. Yo, you married a great person here. Let's be honest. Even Chris from Atlanta, his friends talked him up, right? They gave him kudos. Zach's friends talked him up, right? Shoot, my boy Michael, who didn't have a job, right? His boys and everybody talked him up. So he got a friend. If I'm this Chris, I'm looking at my boys like, yo, y'all set me up. Y'all told this girl something about me that really gave her some ammunition to say, you know what? I'm not even dealing with you. How do you get married and don't even stay in the same room with your spouse that night? Like, y'all don't even go to the same room. She doesn't even go up there with you. She likes the front desk asking for 2 separate keys. And she leaves you out there for hours and don't want to tell you, you know what? I'll be talking to production about me not want to be with you. You know, that's not good for her, and that's not a good look. And I think he's a trooper because he hasn't gotten. Let's see, he hasn't got loud with her. He hasn't yelled at her. He hasn't really been aggressive with her. He really hasn't even told her how he really feels. You know,
everything that she can say is based off of what his friends and family have said to her about him, because literally his conversation was just, I do this for a living, I do this as a hobby, no, I don't have a dog. It was really nothing else to that little exchange that they had. But she's like, I can't be with a person like that because of what his friend said. And like the producer asked her, but has he said anything directly to you? And she's like, well, no. So what are we upset about?
Right. She didn't even want to take pictures with the dude, right? He tried, they like, photographer, can you get this close? Nah, that's not something I would do. She didn't want to put her head on the chest. And then she told her, this is what made me upset. And I think Tommy alluded to it a little bit earlier. He was trying to appease her. You know, you want to go shopping. You want to walk on the beach. I know, I just want to lay on the beach. Okay, I can do that as well. At what point do you see, and then you call him a yes man? Oh, he's just a yes man. Instead of looking at it, he's trying to make his wife, who's uncomfortable, comfortable.
He's just trying to get to know her.
That's what I was about to say, Chloe. Chloe, that's it right there. I'm trying to be where you are because I'm trying to get to know you. She is really, it reminds me of Bao and Johnny when they went, was it on the retreat to the ranch? He was like, look, basically, let's stay as far away from each other as we can, so I can have a good time.
But at least he said it though.
Right, but she used that word, Chloe. You said it. That thing really stuck out to me when she said, I want us to have a good experience. She already is saying that it's not no relationship. It ain't no marriage. I'm not trying to do none of that. I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to get out. I'm just trying to make it through. Let's do this experience. Oh.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Do you think that Chris, even though she said they're not compatible, it's over, she on one, nothing, it's not going to work, all that good stuff, do you think that Chris should still try to pursue her?
In my opinion,
Like trying to break it down, because they say sometimes you got to put in a little bit of work to get there.
I think he should put in some work. Now, if it was me, I think I might be 1 foot out the door already. I'm just being honest, right? Because they're different from most people, because you dated. You see this when you date, right? He signed up for this. I do think he should be one. I think he should try to pursue her, but I think he should put a time limit on it. Like, okay, when we get the honeymoon, may not work out, but when we get to this apartment, if they make it to the apartment, and when we get into this apartment, and if it doesn't work, I give about a week or two. If she keeps showing her national tail, I'm going home.
In the words of the great Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's where Chris is. And that's where I would be if I was Chris. Like, I'm just here so I don't get fined. I don't know what the fine is. I just know that I signed up for this.
Uh-huh.
This is not what I'm getting. I'm gonna poke you to either make you give me what I signed up for, which is someone who's willing to be compatible with me, or I'm gonna push you out the door. You're gonna walk out like you did on Keisha. I am here so I don't get fined.
I felt that. I mean, I feel because Alyssa is for lack of better words, such a wonderful girl. I feel like because her personality is trash, she definitely should just leave her alone. It's the personality. Her personality is complete utter trash. Like, I just don't understand how she went from that balcony crying, tried to make it about him telling the parents. It's like, sis, you take no accountability for nothing. So you had nothing to do with y'all not being able to talk, connect, anything, nothing. And it's always someone else's fault. How is that?
Yeah, I think she's been played the victim for so long that she likes to play the victim role. And with that being a victim, she wants sympathy from everybody. And she wants a sympathy from people who have always given her sympathy, right? Her family know that, when family say, I know how she is, but they still accept you, that is condoning your bad behavior, right? That is condoning your bad behavior. And they have condoned her bad behavior for a long time. Even to the advice that they gave Chris, just be patient with her. She does that all the time. And then she got mad at him for telling her family the truth. Right? How you get mad at this man for telling the truth? You didn't spend no time with him. You was in a separate hotel room. And the family was like, okay, it's okay. Just give her some time. Try that on your wedding, those out there who's watching it. Try that, you're doing all that. No, I don't want that. And he should be like, red flag, family condones bad behavior. I'm not gonna do it. I mean, what do you guys thought? I mean, your thoughts on that? How do you do that when you hear bad behavior and people condone it and the family's telling you it's okay, that's just her, that's just him, not with me?
You gotta run. You gotta run. That's just like on Ready to Love when Frank's little cousin was like, he's perfect, and then next thing you know, he left her right after filming. Yeah. It's a red flag.
It's a big red flag. When somebody
if anybody in your family says you're perfect, I already have to side, I think, because nobody's perfect. Like, you might be my favorite cousin, but my favorite cousin has flaws.
But they say if she watched Married at First Sight, she should know she's not gonna get no sympathy. That's why she got upset and walked off that daggone stage on the after party. That's what she get, because someone was holding her feet to the fire. I don't like the victim between Lindsay and Alyssa. I don't like this whole victim thing. Like, everybody's doing them wrong. It's everybody against them. Like, no, sis, no.
I think I said that in one of our reviews. If she had been Mirla, if Mirla would have came with 10 dresses, Mirla didn't even come with 10 dresses. People would eat her alive, right? You don't even see the backlash from people who's giving Alyssa. Alyssa gets the pass. She had 10 dresses. She tried to do this. She tried to do that. She wants the animals. She wants the horses. I thought, I told my wife, I said, you know what? Alyssa's on the wrong season. Because I think Alyssa and Ryan from last season would have went real well together. I think they might have matched up. Ryan who had Brett. I think Alyssa and Ryan might have matched up pretty well with each other. And they would have been able to.
A very boring couple to watch.
I'm trying to remember who the heck was Brett and what he looked like.
No, Brett was the girl, the redhead.
Ryan was the one
They had the app.
Cheating on the app, right?
Yeah, cheating on the app.
Okay,
yeah. I think Alyssa and Ryan would have matched up. Again, she is so into herself that she's not into anybody else.
I don't like Alyssa. Point blank, period.
I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody supports her. You guys, if you watch the after party, how do you feel about Keisha? Because I think Keisha asked the right questions.
I love Keisha. I absolutely love Keisha. So I went back and I watched a few episodes. I love to see her talk about different things that have to do with the community. I like to see her push the envelope, but in a graceful, tasteful way, where it's not mean and malicious, and it's like she's not scared to ask it because of the way that she acts it. I enjoy her. I think I've been watching After Party now and never watched Unfiltered, so that means something to me. I wish they would have switched up the set though and made it totally different because it's still giving Unfiltered vibes.
It's Unfiltered with alcohol.
Yeah, they should have made it at a bar scene or something like that. That'd have been different.
I do like Keisha on here, and I will say I don't think that anybody could have asked, why did you sign up for this as nice as Keisha did? Because I couldn't imagine Jamie Otis asking that question. I think she would have gotten that same response, but I don't think that she would have gotten the same feeling from us, the viewing public, with the way that Keisha asked it. I like that I'm hoping that they're getting away from the people that have been around for everything for the last few seasons, because I hope they change Kevin out, because I feel like Kevin doesn't ask the right questions when he does the reunions. But I do like Keisha. I had to warm up to the idea of Keisha because I still see her as this very soft-spoken, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. And I mean, she's taking that, but she's taking it a step further. I'm going to get in your business.
Yep.
But I'm going to do it in a really, really nice way.
It's real nice and subtle too, ain't it? She was like, so, I mean, but I'm just asking to make us understand so the people can understand. Why would you do that? I'm trying to give you the opportunity to tell your story. I was like, you go ahead, Keisha. She's been through the training of it all. Because I'd be like, so why you want to do this? She did it so. It's a method to it, and I love it because it's not mean, it's not malicious, it's nice, it's not abrasive, it's welcoming. It's just the fact that Alyssa is an a-hole. And I love the fact that they let the people really speak in details about things that happen, especially with everything that happened with Elijah and stuff like that. I don't know, something about, I guess it might be her asking the right questions, but I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think she asked the question that we talk about on our couch, watching at home, or your lazy boy, whatever you're at. I think she asked those questions, and they don't leave anything. I think when you watch the show, you can pick up certain things from the people and from Alyssa, from Elijah, even from a Mark, right? You can, and the question she asked are questions that we want to know. We don't want to wait till the reunion, right, for this question to be asked. And I think that's what fans like about it. Jamie didn't ask those questions sometimes. I don't know if she wanted to be friends with him or production didn't give her those questions. Whatever the case may be, it'll be fine. It'll be nice for us to figure out who comes up with the questions. But I think sometimes even with you can see Keisha. I won't about to say Rudy. You can see Keisha's mind. You can see Keisha's mind turning as Alyssa was answering, and you can even see the guys like Elijah wants to BS. You can see Mark like BS, right? Because you could tell as she was talking, like it was a bunch of bull because she didn't. And so I think Keisha picked up on that as well. Like, oh, let me ask this question here. And for Alyssa to leave, even for with Keisha to say, you know what, I expected that to happen, right? Jamie would have never said that. Jamie would have never said that. She was like, well, come back, Alyssa. We probably like, come back. But Keisha was like, I expected that to happen. All right, she gone. Let's talk about something else.
Keisha was like, okay, so we're going to move on. So what you got to say about this, Elijah? Elijah went all the way on. I love it.
I do think that I like one of the things that Keisha does is she gives them room to fill in the space of the questions. I know that she did that on, I believe it was the first episode of the After Party from this season, when they were talking, when Lindsay was like, I don't know why Alyssa blocked me. And Jasmina and Katina were like, you don't? Let me refresh your memory. Because I don't feel like stuff like that happened with Jamie. Like Jamie was like, I have to control this conversation. And Keisha's like, no, tell us. What happened? You were there, I wasn't.
Yes, she's an investigator. You can tell she's been in some Facebook groups and text messages and Twitters and trying to figure it all out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I like her.
And try to figure out what we thought and what we think. You know, before we get you guys out of here, closing thoughts here. What are your thoughts on the couples? And give us your predictions for this season. I'll start with we start with you, Artika.
I'm trying to remember what all I said. So I said Noi and Steve were going to be a yes. I said that Katina and Elijah would make it to decision day, but I don't think they're going to make it much further than that. Jasmina and Michael were a no. Lindsay and Mark were a no. And Alyssa and Chris were definitely not. Tommy just asked me to give his predictions and I forgot them. So, Tommy, can you come up here and give your own predictions?
I love it. Well, I'll give mine until he comes. Alyssa, Chris, no. What's some other people? Lindsay, Mark, no. Jasmina, Michael, no. Elijah Chris and Elijah and what's her name, Katina. I can see them making it. I can see them making it to the end, but I don't know about long term. Noe and Steve, surprisingly, I have the most hope for them. The most out of everybody. But yeah, that's all I got. I don't know, but I know this season about to be crazy.
Yeah, it's season about to be crazy. I'm gonna give mine. And me and Jack differ just a little bit. I think Jasmine and Michael, no. Jack, he believes Jasmine and Michael are gonna make it. All right. I think Steve and Noi are gonna make it. I think, like you guys, I think Katina and Elijah makes it on decision day. I'm not for sure right now the long term, but on decision day, I think they make it. Of course, we know Chris and Alyssa they're not gonna make it at all, right?
What if they did though? What if they did?
The question is, how long do they stay on the show, right? At what point do we get 4 couples instead of 5, right? I think that's the question. And the last couple, I think I do think that Lindsay and Mark makes it, and I only base that off the fact that I always go back to my baseline for that is Jamie and Beth, because 2 crazy stayed together. And so I always look at when I see Jamie, no one thought Jamie and Beth would make it, right? So when I see 2 people who are just alike on the show, I'm saying, you know what? If Jamie and Beth can make it, you know what? Mark and Lindsay, I think they can make it. I think Mark and Lindsay can make it. He's just got to be ready to put out a whole bunch of fires, right? He's got to be able to put a whole bunch of fires. I think Jackie said Lindsay and Mark will make it. She also said Katina and Elijah won't make it. Jasmine, she thought Jasmine and Michael will make it. Steve and Noe make it. And then again, Alyssa and Chris not make it. So I think we both think 3 out of 5 couples will make it throughout the season. Well, at decision day, I'm gonna say decision day. I'm not gonna say how long they make it, but at decision day, I think 3 out of 5 will make it. So Tommy, you're back. So let's hear you, Tommy.
Who was it? Jasmine and Michael. I was like, I hope they make it, but I think they're gonna make it. Not Katina and Elijah, I think that's a no. I think Alyssa and Chris is a no. Noy and Steve is yes. And Lindsay and Mark is a yes. I think I said, yeah, that's everybody. And to answer your question, I think we got 2 more episodes of Alyssa and Chris. And then we'll probably be done with them.
Really? You think they're going to send them off the show for real?
Well, not like send them off, but it's like, okay, they're not.
But we just know that like Zach and Mindy, like they not together.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he ain't gonna be like Chris, or she ain't gonna be like Chris. When she get back, she can get the bag. He can take another flight somewhere else, right?
Nah. Hey, she just on the show for the free vacation.
Oh, she did say that. She did. Yeah, she said, "I'm just here to have a good time." Yo, she is totally one of those girls. I think she's gonna rub everybody. I think before it's all said and done, her and Lindsay will probably rub everybody the wrong way on the show. Yeah. I don't think anybody will like them by the time it's all said and done. That they will be, they running neck and neck like who's the villain of the season right now.
Who you give it to?
I think Alyssa is the villain.
Like, yeah, Alyssa's the villain. Yeah. I give Alyssa. I think Lindsay could bounce back from her situation because Elijah one's not pushing the issue. Mm-hmm. If he was pushing the issue and made this a race relation thing, a black man, white woman situation, he would take that. But he understands. I think he's smart enough to understand this is TV. I deal with Caucasian women all the time because you saw his family, and those involved in his family, and so I'm gonna just go ahead and just bow out, and I don't want to be an issue.
Yeah.
I forgot about his family too. You were absolutely right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's like, I've dealt with this, I've done this, so I'm just going to bow out. But I think Alyssa, Chloe, who do you think is the villain?
Oh, it's definitely Alyssa. Okay. My issue with Lindsay is personal at this point, though. Okay, between the cats and what she pulled on that plane, it's personal because it's personal. But it's definitely Alyssa. For Married at First Sight Nation right now, it's definitely Alyssa. Hi,
cutie pie. Yeah, definitely Alyssa. Hey, thank you guys. This our first panel. We appreciate you guys for hopping on. Thank you for all those in the chat. Chloe, appreciate you. Let everybody know where they can catch when your videos drop and how they can reach you. For those who don't follow all three of us, so let them know where they can get information.
Well, you could just find me on YouTube, Chloe Johnson. That's exactly how it looks on YouTube without the accent mark. Okay, and then if you go over there, you'll find everything else. But that's it.
Tommy.
August Love Story everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That's it. Artiga standing right here, and so yeah, that's it.
Hey, thank y'all for joining us. We'll catch you next week. More discussion on Married at First Sight. We'll see what else explodes and what happens at Married at First Sight with these couples. I believe they're still on a honeymoon. We get another honeymoon episode next week. Nothing is going home. Jack would say goodbye, but she forgot that our oldest, who's all close to getting her license, was still at work, and she texted us and we're like, somebody's coming to pick me up. It's only up the road. It's not that far, man. But anyway, hey, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Thank you. Good night.